Welcome into this Tuesday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio here with you this afternoon, just after 1 o'clock. Getting started today, a little later in the show, Matt Mott, Ole Miss soccer coach, will join us. The Rebels are in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. They face Duke tomorrow, 11 a.m., the start time for that. They're in Cary, North Carolina, as they've shifted over, I guess, from Wilmington for the first two games, and now Cary for the remainder of the tournament against the Blue Devils, who have a lot of history in the NCAA tournaments. We'll talk to Matt about kind of the evolution of the Ole Miss soccer program, two Sweet 16s now in 5 or 6 years, whatever it is, and more here coming up on the show. The show brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Take advantage of the Speed Pass Plus app. You can download it. You can use it. When you do that, you earn points and save money there with the Oxford Exxon. Also get a lunch special, $5.69, 2 sides, bread, 32-ounce drink. Track the hot case out, pork, chicken, side items, dessert, and more there inside the Oxford Exxon. Again, coming from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, as my hat says, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. And the rest is totally up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. You'll love the service. You'll love the product. The people at Clark Ford want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what that means. 662-257-1900. And guests, including Matt Mott, will join us on the Rafters Music and Food hotline. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. Be a great place this weekend to watch Ole Miss at Texas A&M baseball. I think that's a Thursday through Saturday series. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thursday through Saturday, so it'll be a great place to watch that. NBA starting to wind down, other things, and just a good place just to hang out in general. Enjoy their burgers, po' boys, appetizers, full beer selection, full bar, the whole deal there at Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford and also in New Albany.
So, Ole Miss baseball appears to be happening tonight. 6:30 start for that. Arkansas State. There's rain in the area, though. Actually, Lafayette is under a thunderstorm warning right now. It is not currently raining outside, but the forecast is kind of spotty the rest of the day until 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, so we'll see if anything changes there. But as of now, game on for Red Wolves and Rebels. Freshman Cody Adcock getting the start for Ole Miss. He's thrown 9.1 innings this season with a 1.93 ERA.
So he's the ace of the staff.
Feels like a Johnny Holstaff day for the Rebs. I think they're gonna use a lot of arms that are not their main arms as they head into a Thursday through Saturday series again with Texas A&M in College Station this weekend. You know, they need to get some guys some work, but then it also is like, hey, if one's going to get rained out, this wouldn't be the worst one in the world to kind of get rained out at the same time. So either way, you can put a spin on it, but
you just would hate to be them having to drive over here to get rained out.
Well, that would suck.
You'd love to get that call like now. It goes, hey, fellas.
Yeah, we're good.
And their coach would say, we got the day off.
But by this point, they're getting on the bus in the next 20 minutes. Probably.
I would think.
Yeah. 3 hours-ish.
Yeah, they're like, man, we're going to go sit in the rain.
3 there, 3 back.
Probably not going to play.
Oh, yeah, once you get on the bus, it's no, let's play. Let's go. Let's do it.
But let's play on time.
Well, that's true, too. Because you're not staying in Oxford tonight. You're getting back whenever you get back.
Let's not start at 9:15, they're thinking.
Yeah. So they're I think they're like 16-22, 14-22. I don't know, something like that. They're like 6-9 in the Sun Belt. They're a very average baseball team. They are TBA tonight. They have not announced a starter.
They're ready to get it over with.
Well, like if you're Tommy Raffer, like, what are you doing? Just announce a starter. Like what?
He might not know.
You going to get to the park and just have them all play catch for a minute?
Does it matter?
Well, not even a little bit. No.
Then yeah.
Is that an outdated tradition to name your probable rotation?
No, but if there's truly a day when you go into it, kind of, I don't really know what the hell we're going to do. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just wondering if
I don't think he has an obligation to tell Mike, hey, here's our plan.
There is like a certain pissy level with some coaches when other teams go TBA, all this, and it's like,
well, yeah, but I've never
Not in a midweek. Tonight does not matter. Don't get me wrong.
an SEC series.
Yeah. When a team goes, hey, TBA, it's like, come on.
Well, they'll have to put a lineup card out there at some point. When they do, you adjust.
Like nobody throwing 7 scoreless or anything tonight for either side. I don't
no.
think, so.
No. I doubt if Mike has spent a hell of a lot of time thinking about this one.
If you really truth serumed him, I wonder if he even did like a normal scout. I know yesterday you probably watched a little video.
Maybe a little, but they're focused on A&M.
Hey, can I get the book from when we played them earlier in the year? Can I just see
Let's
that
put
for
it
a
this
minute?
way. If the baseball gods came down and said, hey, Mike, you get to go 3-1 this week, you pick.
He'll lose tonight.
He would lose tonight. Fast.
And be smiling and skipping out of there when it's over.
Enjoying a hot dog.
Might even yell at him for a minute when it's over, but who cares?
Yeah.
It's all good.
He'd yell at him only because he knew a secret that the baseball gods had sworn him to secrecy to.
Yeah, that's true. He would get fired on the message board for a night to get 3 in College Station this weekend. So
God.
Be more
I
than
mean, just
happy.
wouldn't even think about it.
Oh, geez. So we'll.
If you offered him 2-2, he'd take an L tonight. He'd start getting a little pissy at that point, but
he'd be annoyed by that.
yeah.
But that's a good question. Would he take 2-2 though?
Well, no, he'd roll the dice.
He'd roll it at 2-2.
But if they came down and said it's mandated, you're going 2-2, but you get to pick which 2, he'd go, well, give me 2 of the ones in College Station.
Yeah, sure. Okay. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, he would take 3-1 and not roll the dice.
Yes, a sweep on the road in the SEC done.
But 2-2, I think you roll them.
Yeah, sure. Because he'd say, well, you know what, I think I can go 3-1 on my own without the help of the baseball gods, maybe even 4-0.
Yeah.
But 3-1, if you offered it to him,
sure. Yeah,
hey, you got to go through the embarrassment of losing tonight, but done.
Everybody will have it completely forgotten by 9:30 on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah, just done.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even be a thought.
So anyway, well, I don't know. I have something. I mean, I think we're talking to Tim Elko when it's over, so we'll have whatever with Tim Elko.
I heard his interview with DeLucci and what's her name?
Who was it?
The girl on SEC Network who does the Sunday morning.
You've watched a lot of SEC Network the last week or so.
Well, I run on Sundays sometimes in the mornings, and that's what's on. It's not a bad show. You kind of get a quick catch-up.
It hits a little bit of everything.
I mean, I got to see all the baseball highlights.
Yeah, I've called it when I've gotten home after games a good bit at night. Just turn it on.
Yeah.
Quick little highlight.
It was fine.
Standings.
Yeah, it was
a little
fine.
softball, a little baseball. Move on.
Yeah. Saw the highlights from Vanderbilt, Florida, and the highlights from LSU, Arkansas, and
You're all good.
Ole Miss,
all caught up.
Ole Miss, South Carolina. Who else played? I saw
A&M State.
Yeah, I saw that one. So I kind of felt like okay. So I sort of generally know what happened around the league. Well, because it was the first weekend in a while that I didn't have time to watch a game because I had soccer.
Actually, some credit to Alabama. They're still playing without Connor Prelup, and they've become a good spot on Ole Miss's resume. They've got like a top 25 RPI right now. They've played their way into probably an at-large bid if the season ended today. They've helped Ole Miss out a good bit because you got 3 road wins there over the Tide. They found it. They're not bad. They're okay. They beat the teams. They've swept A&M in College Station. They're all right. When you don't have your number one arm and you find a way to just get in, there's a credit to that.
It's actually not the worst line on Ole Miss's resume.
No, it's a good line.
Yeah.
It's become a positive for Ole Miss as they move forward. I don't know if we mentioned this. I'm not going to spend any necessarily time on it, but I've gotten asked a couple times. The NCAA put out its softball pool, and Ole Miss was not included. So no matter what Ole Miss does the rest of the way in softball, they will not host.
Well, the good news is now you won't have to go through all the certification of the stadium.
That's
God,
true.
that
the
was going to take.
Not have to be certified.
That was going to take 3 weeks of work, and then on top of the baseball, that'd be 6 weeks of certifying.
I mean, you're having to do all the changing over of the senior women's administrator with Jennifer getting the job, Lynette gone. I mean, it's a bad time to try to certify.
I mean, can you imagine? You get that job, and you're having to learn all these new things about your job, and then someone says, "Oh, and Jennifer, we've got to get the stadium certified." Oh God! I mean, that's more than one person could be.
It is.
That's just too much.
Yeah. So, why they were not included, I'm not well versed enough to ask that. They appeared to be trending though in an area where they were definitely in a normal season, a possibility to get a host. But I don't know. I know the week that they made the decision, their RPI was 27. My hunch is that's what hurt them. I don't know if facility hurt them at all. I do wonder a little bit if, because of, all jokes aside, there need to be COVID areas and stuff, Ole Miss having the worst softball stadium in the league played into that. I have no idea at all. Keith Carter might tell me I'm a moron, and that's fine, and I'll say, yeah, I am occasionally. It's fine. It's cool. But
well, I mean, after that COVID tragedy with Nebraska softball, I think we all learned a lesson.
You got to have 2,500 square feet or something for a COVID testing center thing.
Yeah, you have to.
It's in the book. It's a rule. So Ole Miss softball, currently 5th in the SEC. They were on the road for the regional round somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Jamie Traxel doing a hell of a job, but they will be on the road for a regional. I tell you, it is a pretty dang impressive thing, and I get that a lot of these teams are probably kind of mid-majors and whatever. They've won 42 in a row at home in the non-conference.
Really?
That's hard to do against anybody. That's actually pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
I was like, all right, that's it's a good resume line. So anyway, news-wise, don't really have much else. It's been kind of a slow couple of days. I think women's golf starts on Monday for their regional. Men's tennis is hosting. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, breakdown. Neal started putting some of that in 10 thoughts, so you're covered from a site standpoint.
I did.
On the Olympic sports
someone
side.
said, you guys don't do enough on Olympic sports, and I thought, you're right, we don't. There's a reason we don't, but we don't, and so I'll fix it a little bit.
People seem to care about human interest with those sports. They don't necessarily care a ton about the day-to-day happenings with those sports, is the way
And covering human interest this year has been close to impossible.
Yeah. I'm a little more annoyed about it today than I probably should be, given what it is, but nonetheless. I don't know. I'm not in a great mood. I'm just kind of.
You're not in a good mood.
Kind of chippy. I don't know. I came in sort of, and I got a workout in. I was like, okay, do that. You'll feel better.
Yeah.
Like I tried to do the things that typically kind of pep me up a little bit.
Did you go run?
Yeah.
It's really hot.
It rained about half of it.
Really?
I ran in the rain for a little while.
I did Peloton today.
Well, I tell you what I did. I was waiting on a phone call that I couldn't miss, and it's nobody cares, and we will move on in 2 minutes. But
as soon as you start running, the phone call comes.
I had my phone in my hand. I usually leave it in my car, just run off my watch and leave my phone. But I took my phone, and I hate those armbands, so I hold it.
Yeah.
I'm holding it, and it rang like 4 times. And I wasn't going to answer it, but it was enough to just throw off rhythm. I kind of couldn't get in my head. Like, every time I look down, it's like my phone's ringing. It's like, okay, I don't need to answer it, but I just can't quite.
Sure.
And then it starts raining, and I get done. I'm like, yeah, it sucks. Like, okay, but I'm just not.
Well, when you finish a run and you know it was a crappy run, you get kind of pissed off about how bad the run was.
Well, I typically at least will look at my stats to see if I almost had a heart attack or what my pace was or anything, and I haven't even looked today. I was like, all right, just whatever.
You knew it was a bad one?
Yeah, I'm just going to throw that away and move on. And now I am slower with my phone in my hand. Every time. Considerably slower if my phone is in my hand.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because they're kind of big now. Back in the day when they were a little smaller, it wasn't as big of a deal. But, I mean, you're kind of having to.
I kind of have to use mine for interval runs because I have to watch the time.
What's on my watch?
Yeah, I don't.
Good.
I need to get a watch.
Yeah, because like mine.
I had one, but I've quit. I don't even know where it is anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we actually have a watch throw on the message board today. This one, it allows you to download music on it from Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, or your podcast.
Uh-huh.
So I'll download a week's worth of podcast on it on like Sunday or Monday. I can scroll through. They just play straight off my watch. And then like my home screen, I've set it to where timer, heart rate, distance, pace, and interval times are all on my watch.
It's pretty fancy.
At one time. So, yeah, you can like set it.
Is that an Apple Watch?
It's a Garmin.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I used to have, was a Garmin.
Yeah. So
it was good.
Anyway. But all right, now that we've passed the running portion of this here podcast, we'll talk some football and then the other kind of football as well. If we did, I'll tell you about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Citto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. They're getting local underwriting. Understands your market. A leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com. Exxon.com.
Also brought to you by Joey Erickson at Heron Gear Chevrolet. Let him help you find the vehicle you're looking for at a price you can afford. Choose from a full selection of new Chevrolet vehicles or get a great deal on numerous brands of reliable pre-owned vehicles. Give Joey a call or text 662-571-2367. Tell him what you're looking for, or just stop by 1685 High Street in Jackson. Test drive that new or used vehicle you've been wanting and let him earn your business. And with any purchased vehicle, just mention the Oxford Exxon Podcast or the Soft Verbal Podcast. You get $50 gas card. Whoops. Also brought to you by The Rogue. I don't know why it's doing that. Also brought to you by The Rogue. The Rogue is your destination for fine men's clothing. They're stylist, hand-select pieces from top designers, work to lifestyle to nightlife. There's the perfect something for everyone at The Rogue. All the best items, Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, and more, 4450 I-55 North in Jackson or therogue.com. And we're brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans. They make the best-fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they're uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit and hand-tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi. One size fits one at BlueDeltaJeans.com. Husbands, fathers, children, Mother's Day is Sunday, May the 9th, so don't wait until the very last minute to get a gift for the mother in your life. A custom pair of Blue Delta jeans is a great way to show you care, and it's unless you give a gift that will bring a lifetime of joy. So visit BlueDeltaJeans.com, purchase a gift card that can be redeemed in person or online, or contact the folks at Blue Delta to schedule an in-person fitting for the mother in your life. Don't forget to use the code Rebel Grove online or in person for 10% off any pair of jeans. Also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And we're brought to you by Alpha Specialties. Alpha's located at 1670 Highway 80 in Pearl, Mississippi. It is your trailer-specific professional. If you want to haul it, they can call it. It's the premium trailer dealership in Mississippi. They've got Load Trail. They also have Hallmark cargo trailers, one of the most quality cargo trailers on the market today, perfect for hauling goods to markets and shows, ATVs to deer camps, hauling race cars, and more. Alpha can even work with third parties to have game day trailers and concession trailers built just for you. They also repair all types of trailers, concession, horse, utility, enclosed, gooseneck, RV, and more. So give them a call at 601-932-9798 or check them out at alphaofms.com.
So somebody said they thought that related to Conan's show ending, the podcast killed late night television.
Apparently he said that.
Okay, so I saw a correction here. They said somebody else said it about him, but either way.
Okay.
Podcasts have certainly killed some things. I don't know that I would think late night TV would be one of them. To me, DVRs and things have killed. Streaming has killed late night TV because you're not worried about that appointment viewing anymore unless it's really, really good. You're just watching Ozark or you're doing whatever you're doing and you're binging and you're doing all these different things. I think young
people don't know what the hell you're talking about when you talk about late night TV. They can't relate to like
the
me.
Leno and the Letterman and the SNL and the whole deal.
Like I'll tell the girls about the David Letterman show, which was a part of my childhood, that I looked forward to. Sure. And they look at you like, you every night at 10:30?
I was listening to, it was an old podcast, but I was listening for a topic as much as the date, and I just happened to saw it. It was Bill Simmons talking about, they were doing the 100 greatest TV episodes of the 21st century to this point, from 2000 to now. And, not many shows, almost all of them on these streaming services, they come out with the whole season at one time. They don't scatter them. HBO does a good job of scattering some of them, And I guess analytically, to them it makes sense, and maybe it says something about attention spans. But the shows that still do a weekly format, but are streaming, like Succession on HBO, great show, phenomenal. It comes out a week at a time. You're getting so much more build because in the middle of the week, all these entertainment sites, all these review places, they're critiquing and doing podcasts on you and writing about it and doing all that. Whereas when you put the season out, everybody's done in 48 hours. There's no slow burn of, hey, episode 1 to 2, 2 to 3, what's going to happen? You can reverse course if something's not necessarily the audience doesn't love it. You know what I mean? In streaming, It's just done. You got a bad character. The bad character is finished for the entire time. I don't know. There's something about.
There's no who shot JR moment.
That's my point. I think we've jumped the shark too far. I think a lot of shows would actually benefit from a slow build and a slow burn. I mean, we've talked about this, and I'll reiterate it quickly. It's what made Breaking Bad so good. When you binge Breaking Bad, it's a great show, but it happens so fast. It just the change is, hey, well, in the next 3 hours, he's going to turn bad. But when that's over 5 years or that's week to week, and you see that slowly he starts wearing darker clothes when he gets more into it, he does this, and there's just little bitty things where he kills the guy and he starts eating the sandwich like him, or he kills Mike and he starts drinking his bourbon the way Mike drank it, and he's doing all these different things. That's a much cooler viewing experience when it's not just, hey, hit play, hit play, hit play, hit play, hit play.
No, there's
a loss there.
I've told people, because I binged it, because I watched it late, and I think I would have actually gotten more from it had I watched it and had a chance to think about it and talk to people. And
you start critiquing it.
Yeah. Instead, I just, next.
No.
Skip intro. Next.
Yeah, but Netflix goes, are you still watching? Yeah, just go ahead. We're good.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something to that. And I think the binging has killed the late night TV. Frankly, everybody's so into confirmation bias that if they don't agree with everything that goes on with late night TV, they don't want to watch either.
It's a good point.
The average person doesn't go, hey, let me try to learn something new tonight. It's tell me what I already believe in for such a large percentage of the population.
What do you watch on a given night if it's not sports?
Not much of anything. I mean, I don't turn the TV on for days.
That's me. I mean,
I will watch a golf tournament. I will put the golf channel on in the background if I'm just kind of hanging out. Because, I know you always make fun of me. I turned on the Food Network for 25 minutes last night. Couldn't really get into it and kind of just turned it off. I was watching some baking show for a minute.
Yeah.
I went, whatever. I don't know. Nothing. I mean, Carly Ann will have the TV on sometimes watching whatever before she goes to bed, but she goes to bed at 7:15. After that, the TV's not typically on. And I'm even more likely, if I'm going to stream something, to do it on an iPad or my phone than the TV. I'll sit there and just turn it on the iPad in front of me while I'm doing something else.
We always say we're going to go upstairs and stream something, and we never. And I
don't actually do it.
Never do it. It's the most predictable. But tonight, for example, if it doesn't rain it out, Carson has a soccer practice from 6:45 to 8, right? So I get home with him at 8:20. He's got to eat. I'm going to want to eat. I'm going to want to shower. By the end of all that, it's 9:30. It's too late to go start a show because the godforsaken alarm's going to go off at 5:40 a.m.
I don't know anybody who at least talks about it that watches Kimmel or Fallon or anybody every night. Goes, no, that's what I do. I watch the news at 10 and I watch Fallon at 10:30, and then I go to bed or I do whatever I'm doing.
I can't remember the last time I watched one of those shows, which is the interesting thing is I grew up, Letterman was something I did watch. Even in college, I would turn on, on a random Tuesday night, you'd watch David Letterman at the end of the night. And I grew up with Carson followed by Letterman, I guess.
And I think I agree, Big Rev 601 says it's gotten too politically charged. That's 100% part of it. That's what I'm talking about. If you don't necessarily agree with the whatever because the way the monologues have gotten, you're probably not watching. But even if I'm going to watch it, even if I said, hey, I really like that show, because I do this with Jeopardy sometimes because I'm a dork, I'll record it and just watch it the next morning. I'm still not staying up for it. I'm asleep before 11:20 or whatever. I'll just hit the record button and I'll watch Jeopardy at 6:30 the next morning over coffee. I mean, that's the thing where it's not just changing the viewing experience. People aren't watching them at all. I don't think. And I think it's because people are not following serial TV the way they used to or the way they have or whatever. And I don't know all the reasons, but it's an interesting dynamic considering we're in the golden age of television from a critical basis. Smarter. I mean, TV's the new movie. We've talked about that a ton, but it's true. I mean, TV is where really people are getting their chops in from a critical standpoint. It's smarter. It's whatever it is. So.
When was the last time you went to a movie?
Oh,
went to the theater to a movie.
I don't know if I could tell you the last movie I watched.
I'm literally thinking the same thing as I asked the question.
I probably took Carly Ann to something within 6 months pre-pandemic.
Yeah, she's at that age where a movie is still an event.
Yeah, so I would assume like Frozen or something.
Yeah.
But I
When was the last time you went to see a movie for you, not for her?
Oh, years. I don't know. I mean, seriously, it's depressing and ridiculous. I bet it's been, unless I'm forgetting a one or two offshoot, 3-4 years. Because I used to go try to see Oscar noms, and I mean, I don't give two craps anymore. I don't do
this
that.
year, when I saw the Oscar list the next day, I thought, I've not seen one of those movies. I've not seen one of them.
It was there were multiple, but it was one of the reasons I didn't watch the Oscars is I didn't know the movie, so what difference does it make?
Yeah.
I know nothing about them. It's kind of fun if you've seen them.
Yeah.
But it's been 2016, 17 probably since I've really tried to focus and watch all of them.
It's just different. It's amazing the way media is consumed now. It's a totally different world.
I mean, look, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, any of those, they have big numbers because a lot of people watch them religiously to be agreed with at night. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, you're watching your team.
That's the funny part to me is I can't even make myself skim through any of those shows anymore. And I mean none of them. Not CNN, not Fox, not MSNBC, not anything.
I'm not saying I'm wrong, but I'm curious here. And I might be completely wrong. Does anyone under 60 watch network news and network shows like that much anymore? Like
the 5:30 news?
Yeah, is that a thing to a large extent?
I guess there's enough of it for them all to keep doing it.
Sure.
But
I read my news though.
Well, I do too. Well, and it's on social media.
Oh, to a point, yeah.
So you don't really the day of getting home from work and turning on the news.
So you don't
at
get up in
5:30.
the morning and within in your 30 minutes of coffee or writing or whatever you're doing, you're not checking news sites.
Sure, I've got Wall Street
do.
Journal.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Yeah. Okay.
I've got Wall Street Journal. I will check DailyMail.com.
Okay.
Because sometimes they have funny stuff, and sometimes they can quickly inform you.
Yeah, I know.
I've gotten where I'll glance through Financial Times.
Okay.
That's about it.
That's about it.
It's about it.
I've got to something has to direct me typically to New York Times, Washington Post, something like that.
Oh, for sure.
And I don't know that I still have a login to either one of those because that's not one of my subscriptions. I might, but I don't. If I'm paying for it, I don't realize I'm paying for it. At least let me put it that way.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I don't have. I used to have one to New York Times and Washington Post, and I don't anymore.
Yeah, because I have the two most eclectic subscriptions in the history of the world. My two are the Wall Street Journal and the New Yorker, or the two that I have. So I'm covered in all bases. I'm hitting it all here.
You feel like you got the umbrella.
Oh yeah, dude. I get this side and I get this side and nothing in the middle. I'm right there. It was my favorite part of the message board. Like a few weeks ago, somebody called the Wall Street Journal a liberal rag, and I went, okay, well, if so, what the hell is that over there?
Come on. Well, you asked can I have an athletic subscription?
Yeah.
So I'll go through the athletic to get my sports stuff.
But see, even that, I have one, but I still only use it if something comes to me. It tells you how little baseball I read, though.
Right.
That's what it tells you. Because also, too, I like him. He does a good enough job. Out of athletic MLB beat writers, David O'Brien is one of the worst. So I don't.
Yeah, the Braves, yeah.
Yeah, I just I'll read it, but I'm not learning anything. It almost feels like Mark Bowman at MLB.com a little bit. Like it's just sort of the news.
So we're all over the place, and we're going to get to an NFL story, and we talked to Matt Mott, and we're going to get there. It's interesting to me, and I notice this more now than I used to. With the athletic, the MLB writers are far more critical of the sport and the teams they cover than the NBA writers are.
Why?
I don't know.
Because they've been doing it longer? MLB writers are kind of lifers in a lot of ways.
Could
right
be.
Now.
They're more critical of a team during a losing streak or after a
I mean, David O'Brien has been covering MLB. I don't know how he's surviving on this schedule. He's been doing MLB daily beat writing since 95.
I know.
like 26 years.
I can't even imagine.
No. I mean, Susan Schlusser, she's changed teams now and still doing it every single day.
O'Brien's covered the Braves this entire time?
The Marlins before the Braves.
Okay.
He covered the Marlins 97 title team.
Oh, yeah.
And then switched to the Braves sometime
Gotcha.
kind of soon after that. Yeah. That's interesting, though. I don't –
maybe I'm wrong. It's just something that I noticed. The NBA writers are almost more defensive of the product. MLB writers are not that way. It's just a totally different deal. I'm not saying one's right or wrong, good or bad. It's just I notice a difference routinely in The Athletic.
Access similar in both sports.
Well, right now, all the access is on Zooms.
Oh. Is that true for everything?
Everything.
All major sports?
I think so.
There's no clubhouse access.
Everything is on Zooms. No.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. I guess I should have known that, but it didn't really click. So they're not traveling on the road then, right? Surely.
I don't think so. I mean, I think some do travel, and
Really?
I don't know. I almost probably out of habit.
Yeah.
You can see things that at a baseball game, you can see things
You
in
can.
person that you wouldn't see.
Because in a normal year, like David O'Brien would go to every road game except for one West Coast swing. Take one West Coast trip off, and that'd be it. Do every other game.
Just can't imagine.
So you're talking I mean, he'd miss a home game every once in a while, but I mean, you're talking 145 games a year for sure. Plus spring training, plus winter meetings, plus postseason.
That's getting to the ballpark 4 hours before first pitch.
Because that's what most people don't realize. All the clubhouse, batting practice stuff is before the game.
Well, it starts 3.5 hours
Yeah.
before the game starts.
Yeah.
So you get to the ballpark 4 hours before the game at a minimum. Get your stuff settled in. Then you go down to the clubhouse, work, do all the –
Notebooks are already done. All that stuff's done, yeah.
well, you get your notebook done before the game starts.
Yeah, right.
You do your work, you go up and write, and then usually if you're good, you have 20, 30 minutes before first pitch, and that's when you grab something to eat or whatnot. Then you cover a game, and then you write during the game and right after the game. I mean, it's a –
And on getaway day, you've got to get to the next park, and you don't have the benefit of the private jet and then all to get you there.
no, you're catching a as early flight as possible.
Yeah,
You hope to get a hotel where you can drop your stuff off,
yeah.
and then your cab or whatever straight to the ballpark.
I mentally just fried. I don't
Yeah.
because
Well,
he'll be tweeting about being in L.A. and eating dinner at his time 2:30 in the morning, and
Yeah.
I'm like I don't get it at all.
I've always said I would have loved to have done it for one season
At like 24.
at a very young age, and then
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. And there is still Big Ben's got a decent point. Baseball writing is probably still the most prestigious of the three sports. I think.
I think so.
They seem
There's
to have a
lot
little more
There's a lot of NFL
substance.
prestige now. If you're an NFL beat writer,
Even for beat writers, to me, it's more of an
Yeah.
insider thing at the NFL, maybe more than the writer.
yeah, more and more the beat writers
Becoming
are
more of an MLB
becoming
type
the
thing.
really good. Yeah, they're really good reporters.
Yeah. It's fair. And frankly, the sports now, because they all have such their own language, it's hard to kind of like, you got to know the caps and the different things and understand the business side of it
Sure.
more than maybe you would have in the past. So I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how exactly that happened, but it happened nonetheless. But yeah, long story short, not watching Leno, not watching Letterman, not watching Fallon, Kilmel, whomever else is on these days. I mean, I guess the ratings are okay. They still do it. Somebody's watching.
I'm usually not up that late, if I'm honest.
It would have to be the 10:30 slot. Anything later than that, no way. Not a chance.
No.
in hell. Like, I said, you record it now. You can watch it whatever you want to. Watch it.
Well, if something happened, to your point, if something eventful happened on one of those shows, it's all over
Social media.
Twitter or
10
Instagram
minutes.
or what else the next morning when you wake up. It's right there.
Yeah.
Hey, so-and-so said something crazy on Fallon.
Mm-hmm. And you get to watch just that clip and
Yeah.
then you move on with your day.
Yeah.
When's the last time you watched SNL?
It's a couple of years.
Really?
Yeah. And not because I don't like it or the politics or anything. It's just it's
10:30.
on so late. Yeah, it's 10:30 on Saturday night. And if I'm still up at 10:30, I'm probably either watching sports or I'm watching a really good Iron Chef America.
No,
I mean, just being honest. If I'm still up at 10:30, I'm either working, I'm watching a game, or I'm watching that.
there's no doubt SNL still has a niche audience. I fully believe that. I bet it does fine.
I would think.
No, yeah, I think it's still appointment viewing for a certain.
Is it this week that Elon Musk is on it?
Is
And a lot of the people are upset about it?
So, yeah, I saw where that was advertised. All CNN sees is, all SNL sees is cha-ching.
Sure.
Ratings and people
Sure.
and whatever else as this comes through. Ginger said she watches the Christmas special every year, but that's it.
Well, the Justin Timberlake in a box.
Yeah.
It's
funny.
Remains hilarious. Yeah.
It's good. So,
It's actually one of those videos that every time you watch it, you can see something new in it.
I don't know that I watched it that closely.
Yeah,
but
to me, it's classically funny.
Okay. All right, we're going to go to Matt Mott when we come back from this here break. First, I'll tell you about Visit Oxford. Visit Oxford MS. That is gone. Oh, no,
missed it.
Visit oxfordms.com/events. See everything going on today and every day here locally in Oxford this weekend. The 2020 graduation is Friday and Saturday at least. I'm not sure if it's Sunday as well, but because of that, the double-decker buses will be in operation 3 and 4 o'clock for those tours. You can get a reservation through visitoxford.com. Call Visit Oxford for that as well. Tunes around town. Saturday night, 5 to 7, 4 different musical acts set up around the square. You can walk around, get some ice cream, yogurt, food, and enjoy the music. And the art vendors back one more week as well. 10 to 5 in the alley beside Visit Oxford and more there for some art vendors third week in a row. So take advantage of that. Pretty cool stuff. Saw it last week. And more. Visit oxfordms.com/events.
Also brought to you by Bain, Moss & Bowen, located in historic downtown Corinth. Their firm practices a wider range of law, from DUI defense to car wrecks to representing government entities. Bain, Moss & Bowen is the only firm in Mississippi made up of a sitting state legislator, a former assistant district attorney, and a former circuit court judge. Their experience is unmatched in that regard, and you can tap into it by visiting them at 618 East Waldron Street in Corinth or by calling them at 662-287-1620. Also brought to you by Oxford University Bank. OUB is locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. It's also home to Casasa. It's the absolute best cash checking account, and with Casasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000 and refund ATM fees nationwide. OUB also offers online bill pay and mobile check deposit using its online app. To learn more about OUB, go to Live Oxford at bankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. Also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're thinking about traveling this summer, thinking about planning something for the holidays, whatever the case may be, you want to get in touch with John. There's a lot of deals to be had. The market keeps changing as COVID things change, as places open up or some of the stipulations or restrictions come off. John's got all of that information, and all you've got to do is get in touch with him, give him some parameters, give him a budget. He'll give you options you won't find on your own, and no, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients save $50 off their first book trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast.
So we'll now go to Matt Mott, Ole Miss soccer coach, to discuss the NCAA tournament again. The Rebels face the Duke Blue Devils tomorrow, 11 a.m. in Cary, North Carolina, with an Elite Eight berth on the line. So with Neal, here is Ole Miss soccer coach Matt Mott.
Ole Miss soccer coach Matt Mott, kind enough to spend some time with us this morning from North Carolina. You've been in North Carolina a long time, which I know is good. You probably would like to stay longer.
Yeah. When the word came out that there was going to be a bubble in North Carolina for the soccer championship, I don't know if I envisioned us being here this long, but it's pretty awesome.
So you guys have played, and look, I mean, I've watched a lot of soccer where it's really close and shots on goal. They're all nerve-wracking, but you guys have played two go win or go home matches now against really good teams. where you've been, nobody can get one in the goal. Both goalkeepers have been awesome. Both teams have had shots. They can't make it. And then you get into this sudden death thing. How much stomach acid have you gone through? How many Rolaids, Tums? I mean, what are you doing just to combat the nerves in that moment?
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking is the way to go, especially against Bowling Green. The way that PK shootout went, we were down to, if they score, we lose. And we'd really kind of controlled the game and been the better team in the game and really thought we deserved to win in regulation. And then we get to a point where they save our first two, and then Ashley makes a save, and it just kind of goes from there. We get down to our fifth kicker. So it goes, you go 5. If there's tied after 5, you go to sudden death. So they have the lead, and they have their 5th kicker. If she scores, they win. And Ashley makes this, I'm telling you, Neal, it's a world-class save. If you're a pro soccer coach and you see her make that save, you're like, I want that kid. That is an unbelievable level of athleticism in that save. And then we go into sudden death, and Mo O'Connor buries one, and then they hit the post, and we win. So that emotion in 2 minutes time of going from, oh God, we're going to lose and we're out of the tournament, to holy cow, we just won, is wild as a coach. And then you go into USC and you're playing just this powerhouse that has 2 of the best forwards in the country, and you stand toe to toe to them, and you get it to penalties. And really, and that one, Neal, I felt really good because I knew Ashley was at such a high level. She stopped 3 of them, and she stopped one in overtime. I mean, overtime, they score and game's over. She saves that one, and then we get into penalties, and she saves 3 of their 5. So she's been just unbelievable. Yeah.
How do you, from a coaching standpoint, is there a scouting report on PKs as to they're likely to go right or likely to go left or likely to go high or low or whatever? Because, I mean, it's for people who aren't intimately familiar with soccer. I mean, you have a split second to react. And, I mean, if you don't move the right direction immediately, you're probably not going to block the shot.
Exactly. No, well, we were able to watch their former penalties. So it's funny with the with the Bowling Green girl, the one girl that has taken all of their penalties, we had her scouted. She went the way, and Ashley didn't get it. So the one scout we did have, we went. And then USC, there was like 9 of them that we saw, but they've gone different ways. So it's really hard to scout. It's all about Ashley's instinct and what she sees, what she picks up from them, and their approach and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, she's seeing it so well right now for sure.
She's incredible. I saw some of the highlights of stops that she made. It's just really just in that USC game, unlike the Bowling Green game, which was just so close and all that stuff. USC got out to a lead on you guys. I was curious because you won that emotional game that you just referenced against Bowling Green, and then I know you guys kind of took a day off. I think just kind of hung out at the beach, just let everybody detox. Yeah. You had to turn right back around and get ready. Was it hard to get emotionally back ready to play after such a cathartic experience against Bowling Green?
I'll tell you, Neal, our team was so motivated for USC, and they were motivated because they kept talking about wanting to play a big, the big name, the blue blood soccer. They've won 2 national champions. They're in the soccer world. They're a dominant team from Southern Cal with all the All-Americans and the national team players and all that kind of stuff. And our guys are like, no, we want to leave a mark on this tournament. We want to, bring Ole Miss into that forefront. And that was the motivation. And our girls were super motivated. I mean, you go down, the second goal they scored in the first half, I was really concerned. But we talked to halftime, said it's a 45-minute game, and we had gotten some chances in that first half. And then, there wasn't a lot in the game until we scored. Once we scored, the momentum completely shifted. And then we pretty quickly got the next one, and then it was on, And so we had a great chance really just at the end of the game. Haley Stackpole, a shot that she typically puts on target, just misses wide, or we win in regulation. But then they had 5 minutes to regroup, and then they came back at us pretty strong in the overtime. So it was a really fascinating game. I mean, probably the best thing that happened to us was they went up 2-0 and kind of took the foot off the gas a little bit, and then couldn't get it back. And we took the momentum over. And then in the overtime, Neal, truth be told, we were playing for penalties. Like as a coaching staff, we're like, we got to get this to penalties, because we had to slow the game down, make some subs, because if we would have kept standing toe to toe with them, they were probably going to get one. So
what's this kind of run? No, it's not over, because we're going to talk about Duke in a minute, but What's this week after the whole COVID year and such a completely different season than what you've ever experienced before as a college coach? What's this? How rewarding has it been for you as a coach, for the kids to have this run where no matter where it goes from here, I mean, you've got that USC win, as you mentioned, you've got this win that you'll always remember in a COVID year that's kind of hard to forget.
Yeah, it's been such a roller coaster with how we were in the fall, right? We started out 1-3, Neal. 1-3, there's no way we were heading to the Sweet 16, but this team was resilient. We figured it out from a coaching standpoint, from the players of how to play, what's the best system for us, what's the best style. The players, we went into the spring and I said, listen, we got to be perfect. Like, we can't, if we tie a game or we lose a game in the spring, we aren't making the NCAA tournament. And they responded, and big win against Memphis, and then really rolled all the way through to where we are now. And I think they're playing with a ton of confidence and understand their roles and just playing together. And they love being together. There's not drama on our team or anything like that. They went shopping. We went to Top Golf yesterday and they went shopping, and they're enjoying this. And it's pretty cool. I mean, we're at one of the, all the men's and women's teams are here. So in our hotel, there's Rice Soccer, who upset West Virginia. And then you have Virginia's here. And then the men, Clemson men are here, and the Pitt men are here, and Washington women are here. So it's a big hotel, but they feel like a part of it, and as they should. We've earned that spot, I think, and so it's pretty awesome.
So give me what do you have to do to beat Duke tomorrow?
As I told you before, Duke's, they're a very good team. They're loaded in every position. But we got to get balls in the box. Like, we got to drop balls in the box. We have a long throw that's really effective in Taylor Radecki. We've got to get corner kicks. We've got to get free kicks. Ashley Orkis can ping a ball 70, 80 yards and flip the field, for lack of better terms. And when she does that, it makes us really dangerous, right? We just want to play in their end as much as we can. Now, they're going to want to spread us out and make us chase them. It's supposed to be really warm. So we're going to have to put in a really strong shift. But I do think our guys are going to be up for it. They're excited. Again, another blue blood in the soccer world, and when you're playing Duke, and they want to make history, right? They want to be the first team to make the Elite Eight from Ole Miss. So it's pretty exciting for sure.
Have you already seen a bounce in what this might mean for your program moving forward? I know you're focused on tomorrow and trying to win a match, but coaches never stop recruiting. Have you noticed a difference already?
Yeah. I have 2 Zooms this afternoon, Neal. 2 Zooms this afternoon with the recruits. So
you'd be crazy,
absolutely,
because you have
that's right.
that you got to take advantage of. Yeah,
that's exactly right. Yeah, no, we are going to capitalize on it for sure, and it's a great opportunity to play a great team tomorrow. One of the best teams in the ACC. So we're thrilled to have the opportunity, and I like the matchup. I like the matchup. I really respect their coach. He's a good buddy of mine. We've been friends for a long, long time. So it's fun to certainly go at him.
The way soccer's grown, especially with girls in this part of the country, are there more elite athletes coming out that you're seeing closer to Oxford, Mississippi than maybe it was when you first got here?
Well, let me tell you this. USC has Penelope Hopkins and Taylor McKeon. Those are 2 All-Americans. Taylor was drafted in the NWSL draft. Tara was drafted in the NWSL draft number 7. Okay. We started Lucy Green from Meridian, Mississippi, a freshman, and Price LaPasser, a freshman from Jackson, Mississippi. And they stood toe to toe with these guys, right? Those are 2 of the best forwards we'll ever see from Southern California, with all the All-American accolades, and our 2 guys in Mississippi just, really, really stood really toe to toe with them. And I couldn't be more proud of that effort that those guys put in the back. And obviously Taylor Radecki from Florida, Sid McLeod from Florida, those guys in the back, and Ashley were unbelievable. But, anybody puts that on paper, Neal, it's not close, right? But that's kind of who these guys are. So we're getting, yes, to answer your question, we are getting some really good players out of this area. We started 3 guys from Mississippi, 2 freshmen, and Mo, who's a sophomore from Oxford, in all of these games, in all of our games so far this spring. So we're getting some players. It makes it really exciting for the future, because they are developing into good players. The athleticism is there, which is great.
Yeah, I just kind of notice sometimes, because I'll go with Carson to these tournaments and stuff, and they have to get there an hour before, and they're off on some other field warming up, and you can either sit in the car or you can go watch a game. And a lot of times the game before their game is a girls' game. And I just
Sure.
put up my chair and watch, and if I get bored, I'll get on my phone or whatever. But I've just kind of noticed over the last couple of years that the quality of play of girls teams from, this is Memphis and, Nashville and Little Rock or whatever. I'm not saying they're college prospects, but the caliber of play seems to have increased. It's just a really popular sport among girls, and it's more competitive. And I think some of the coaching is better. And I don't know, it's the product is really good. And so when you're getting the cream of those elite players, it's a really entertaining sport, actually.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. This is now my 11th season here. 10 years ago, there was very little in Mississippi that we were able to pick from, and now there's a bunch, which is great. And not just like you said, Memphis has been great for us. Nashville, that whole area is our hotbed, and then we go out from there. But it's been, you look at our lineup. We got a bunch of guys from Alabama, Mississippi, Memphis, or Tennessee. We're pretty fortunate for sure.
All right, you kind of ducked this question at the beginning, so I'll get back to it. You're going against Duke tomorrow. The last two matches have gone down to the final, the ball on someone's foot. Are you packing antacids in your pocket? Are you so active that you avoid the nerves, because it gets to that point, and there's only so much you can do as a coach on the sideline once the game's rolling. Especially when it gets down to that kind of that moment, you're just a close spectator at that point.
Yeah, I would say to you, there won't be much sleep tonight, for sure. And I am fully equipped with I think it's Pepsid AC, I believe is what I use. So we'll be ready on the sideline for sure. But no, it'll be a close game. I'll be shocked if it's not a close game tomorrow. I think both teams are going to be up for it and going to be flying. So it'll be fun. It'll be a fun watch. It's online on the NCAA.com or NCAA.com site. So we're hoping. What's really cool, Neal, is after our Bowling Green game, we got word that I think Funky's in the library had our game on in Oxford, and people are going crazy, and that's so cool. And our girls, think that's just the greatest thing ever. And you love the thing about Oxford is you get a team in the tournament, no matter what the tournament, people are going to support. I got back to my phone after the game at USC, and I had 175 text messages. So, and you were one of them. Thank you very much, by the way.
I was excited for you guys, man. It was cool. That when it comes down to you come back from 2-0 and you get into that whole penalty kick thing, and God, it's just it's crazy. You always feel bad. You realize at that moment that a deserving team's going to lose, and that sort of sucks. But I've known you for a long time. I was cheering for you, so I was glad that it worked out for you and your kids. And I know it's been a crazy year, and I was curious. I know you're in a bubble and attendance is really limited and all that stuff. Have parents been able to be there for this?
Yeah, so we were able to get 75 in our first two games, and now they've moved it up to 125 for these next round games. So that's pretty cool. I do know, I think the Chancellor and Keith are coming tomorrow, and Bob Baker, our sports oversight, which is pretty awesome. So I really appreciate that too. So, but we're able to get 125 in, and it'll be, obviously Duke, we're here in Raleigh. Duke will have their allotment filled without a problem. So, but it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And like I said, the girls are excited, and it's been a really exciting tournament, but it's been a long time here in North Carolina, and there's no doubt about it. Hoping to stay a little longer.
I was going to say, well, hopefully you're there at least a little bit longer after tomorrow. Good luck against the Blue Devils. I know it'll be a challenge, but you guys are playing at a high level, so we'll look forward to seeing it, and certainly appreciate you taking some time with us today.
No problem. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. See you, Matt.
All right, bud.
Matt Mott, Ole Miss women's soccer coach there. Again, Rebels and Duke tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. He said it is online, so I'll take his word for it.
Yeah, to watch NCAA. I had that on the scroll, NCAA.com, and then it's pretty easy to find. Okay,
so there is that. If you need that, you will need internet. Best way to get internet is through Northeast Spark, NESPARC.com. The Ignite package, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze, the 1 gig. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband, nespark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone service is available, as well as parental controls, network security, and more. So find out if they're in your area, and if so, take advantage of the best internet around. Again, 662-238-3159.
We're also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust, which is home to Pinnacle Trust 401k advisory services. All you got to do is get in touch with them today. If you're not thrilled with your company's 401k, they'll conduct a complimentary, no-obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the Oxford Exxon Podcast, and you can get 10% off your first year's fees. We are also brought to you by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel Shop. 2 locations in the Jackson area. One's in Ridgeland, one's in Flowood. If you don't live in Jackson, it's okay. You can go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. So whether you're tailgating in Oxford or home gating with friends and family, the College Corner has you covered for game day. They have the largest selection of Rebel gear in central Mississippi. And we're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air. It's getting warm and toasty outside. Actually, outside right this moment, it's getting
not warm and toasty.
Getting ready to storm, but that's a product of how warm and toasty it's been. So it's going to get warm. It's going to get toasty, and you want to make sure that your air conditioner is working in tip-top shape. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, highly recommend you get in touch with Comer Heating and Air. They are been in business for the HVAC business for more than 50 years. They are just an absolute quality organization. They'll take great care of you. 662-801-1777. Again, Comer Heating and Air, 662-801-1777. And we're brought to you by Lammon's Fine Jewelry. Lammon's at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. It's been serving the Oxford area for more than 73 years, from engagement rings to wedding rings, fine jewelry, watches, pearls, children's jewelry, collectibles, and more. Lammon's is the gold standard in fine jewelry, so visit them at lammonsfinejewelry.com or call them at 662-234-2777.
We have now lost our satellite connection as it is coming a monsoon outside right now.
Is that right?
Between the wind and the rain and dark.
I can't really see it from here.
It's pretty rough. So nonetheless, kind of distracting, honestly. I'm staring at it. We hadn't talked about it much. Aaron Rodgers, he is not happy in Green Bay. I think that is safe to say. What's weird about it, though, is the Packers continually go, yeah, we want him to stay, and then do nothing to actually convince him to stay. They don't take offensive players. They've struggled to put much around him at all. They say all the right things, but he appears pretty fed up. He does not appear to.
He's pissed.
Yeah, he's pretty pissed.
Yeah,
and he's got a little capital built up there with the Pack. 37 years old. Aaron Rodgers.
And our guy, when he makes a threat, it's not really an empty threat. Like, he told his family, I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
Oh, that's true.
And 15 years later, he hasn't.
So they probably should listen to what
I think they would be advised to at least take him semi-seriously.
Yeah.
And when he says, I can retire, I'm in the Hall of Fame, I've won a Super Bowl, I'm dating a supermodel or an actress or whatever, they're all whatever. I've got a decent to good shot at this Jeopardy thing.
Probably not, but he thinks he does, and he whatever. But sure, we'll play along.
And if he doesn't do that, he could do something else.
I still think Ken Jennings gets the full-time gig, but nonetheless.
But he can go, and I could just sit here and do 1 year of this, let my body stay fresh.
Somebody will hire me.
I'm going to guess that he has the money to hire a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
He can go play for somebody else in a year. Well, you don't think there'd be a market for Aaron Rodgers in a year, do you?
Financially, here is the difficult things in 2 ways from a leverage standpoint for him. This is strictly financial. He can do whatever he wants to do.
Okay.
He can't really hold out because the 2020 collective bargaining agreement makes it difficult for veterans. Now, he could just pay this and he'd be fine because he's got plenty of money.
Sure.
But it is $50,000 a day for the holdout. Now, he could hold out a month and it's all cool, but at some point, $50,000 does add up.
I like money way too much to walk away from that.
Yeah, $50,000 a day.
That's $50,000 a day is $50,000 a day.
That feels expensive.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I mean, Bill Gates right now is wishing he had another $50,000 a day.
He's about to lose more than $50,000.
Well, he's going to lose at least 25 of that 50 every single day.
Yeah. He could retire. Here's the problem with that, even though. He would have to pay back about $30 million between signing bonuses and different things from that standpoint.
Packers looking better and better.
$30 million's not
no,
not ideal.
No.
his best move is kind of what Barnwell's talking about here on ESPN.com, is to simply be such an asshole they have to trade him. Where I don't want to play there, trade me. Get something for me, or I'm just going to be a pain. And I at least have the financial capability to do this if I want to do it, guys. So y'all can push me if you want to, but
sure.
Do we all want to end this way, or do we want to just move on, get some stuff for him?
You could do a James Harden in Houston, where you just make everyone around you so miserable that
they've got to get a significant return back on a trade, though. Barnwell says he doesn't even think 2 first-round picks would be enough, given the Packers will now have to wait a full year before they can even use fresh draft picks. The return should start with 2 first-round picks and at least one other significant asset, either another first-rounder, a pair of mid-round selections, or a meaningful player. Rodgers doesn't have a no-trade clause, so unlike Wilson or Garoppolo, the team can deal him wherever it wants. Cap situation, they aren't in phenomenal cap shape this year, and things are only going to get worse in 2022. Is there more than $27 million over the projected cap? Trading Rodgers would create room, but they would have to be deliberate about how to handle the finances of this deal.
So where could he go?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
If they trade him before June 1, they would eat a record $38 million in dead money, all on this year's cap. He's currently on the books for $37.2 million, the largest hit for any player in football. Green Bay can narrowly afford to eat his dead money this year if it gets creative, and that would leave the organization in much better financial shape in 2022. More realistically, the Packers would need to wait until June 1st to make a trade, which result in dead cap charges of $21 million in 21 and 17 and 22.
Okay.
Now, obviously, they got to have a quarterback ready to start and all those things, but anyway, that's enough.
They drafted a quarterback a year ago.
They did. Love.
Is he any good?
Well, I don't know. We haven't seen him play.
Yeah.
I mean, they made Aaron Rodgers sit for a while, so who knows? All right, teams that can't make a Rodgers trade. We know that they're not going to deal him in the NFC North. That makes no sense. And then they
Bears
point
don't
out
need him
here,
anymore. Bears got a quarterback.
Well, that's a good point. Then they say, Cowboys, Falcons, Bucks, Seahawks, and Rams are all committed to veteran quarterbacks. That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Cardinals and 49ers have their quarterbacks of the future. Panthers probably aren't close enough to contention to do that. Again, he doesn't mention the Saints here, but the Saints have no draft capital is the problem. We give away all of our picks. We don't really necessarily have those things.
I'm surprised that he dismissed the Panthers that quickly, but okay.
Yeah, anyway. He thinks it makes sense for 7 teams. That's where we're going here.
All right.
He thinks it makes sense for 2 teams in the NFC and 5 in the AFC to be potential Aaron Rodgers landing spots.
Okay.
Based off what they can give up, their cap stuff, the whole deal.
All right.
So starting with the one that he thinks is least appealing to Green Bay and ending with the one most appealing. So these are the 7 possibilities, and Bill Barnwell, who knows what he's talking about, 7-1.
Okay.
The Tennessee Titans is where he starts.
They're number 7.
They're number 7.
Okay.
In his scenario, the Packers would get Ryan Tannehill, the 2022 first-round pick, and the 2023 first-round pick. They think that Green Bay would be willing to give up Rodgers and a 2023 fourth-round pick in return.
Okay.
So you get 2 first-rounders and Tannehill for Rodgers and a fourth.
Does Aaron Rodgers, in that scenario, put the Titans over the hump? Does it get them past Kansas City and into the Super Bowl?
If their defense is any better at all, it gives them. Yeah, I mean, look, defense is where they lost.
Right.
They scored a lot of points. Tannehill did a good job. But I mean,
he's an upgrade.
He's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, no, he's better than Tannehill.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Okay.
That's
number
and again,
7.
he's got tons of paragraphs, but I'm not
that's
delving
fine.
into that.
That's interesting.
Las Vegas Raiders.
They've got Derek Carr right now.
They have Derek Carr. Packers would get Derek Carr, 2022 first-round pick, 2022 second-round pick, and 2023 first-round pick. Same thing, Rodgers and a 2023 fourth.
Okay.
In return. Sure, whatever. I don't think he's going to Vegas. That doesn't feel.
If I'm Vegas, I do that.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Y'all take some picks.
Because on Tennessee, I'm not sure I do that in a heartbeat. Vegas, I do it.
This is one that off the top of your head, you're going to go, but he thinks that they would consider it the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, with Baker Mayfield.
So the Browns would have to consider it, though, because they're facing a difficult question with Mayfield's future. Do they really want to pay Mayfield the going rate for franchise quarterbacks? While he was effective on a per-pass basis last season, the Browns were a run-first football team. He threw 486 passes, the second fewest of any quarterback who played in all 16 games, and behind only Tannehill. The Browns ran on early downs, the 9th highest rate in football. While you could make the same argument for Tannehill, he was more efficient than Mayfield as a passer.
Oh, it's an interesting thought.
A lot of other stuff there. It would be 2022 first, 2023 first, Baker and tight end David Njoku, Rodgers and cornerback Josh Jackson in return was how he had it lined up. So number 5, he had the Cleveland Browns.
If you're Cleveland, You are facing that decision here soon. Is Baker?
He's
good on a rookie contract deal.
Sure.
But if we give him one of these massive deals that you have to give him to keep him, is he worth it?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the answer to that.
Number 4, the New York Football Giants.
I figured the Giants were going to be on this list. I've not seen this list.
2022 first-round pick, 2022 first-round pick from the Bears. So you could give up 2 2022 first, a 2023 first-round conditional pick, and Darius Slayton is what he has for just Rodgers. So heavy price there.
So you're hanging on to Daniel Jones in that deal?
Or something, I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm not seeing where they necessarily what would make this deal work for the Packers is the opportunity to add one of the juicier first-round picks on the market. The 2022 first-rounder the Giants acquired from the Bears as part of the Justin Fields deal could land somewhere in the top 20. If we're to end up in the top 5, the Packers would get a true premium pick for their star quarterback and the opportunity to add a significant asset in next year's draft. So
here's what's interesting there if you're the Giants. I think you do this if you're the Giants. That division's so mediocre, right? The Washington football team, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas is just kind of there. Philly's not particularly good. Does Aaron Rodgers make the Giants a 10-6 team?
I don't know enough about the roster, honestly, to even answer it. I don't know.
He'd have Saquon Barkley back.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten better up front.
Mm-hmm.
Got some weapons at receiver now with Kadarius Toney and Evan Ingram. And defensively, they're better. They were getting better last season. That's interesting. I mean, their quarterback play was bad.
His point with Jones is even if you tried to do something with him, he's only getting a mid-round pick in return. So whatever, just get rid of it if you have to. It's not. Barnwell last week wrote about what Jones has done to this point of his career. Basically, makes it statistically, given history, impossible for him to become a competent pro starter.
He's kind of Trubisky-ian in his numbers.
The Giants have not won a playoff game since 2011. So he says they're just trying to become relevant again, and this would at least do
Well, Rodgers makes them relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, Rodgers would make the Giants must-watch TV again for the first time since Eli.
So this one's a little more creative, but I do find it interesting. Number 3, the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
But he has to bring a third team in here to make this work.
Which makes it really complicated.
We get a third team involved here to make this deal make sense. The Dolphins committed to Tagovailoa this offseason by trading out the number 3 overall pick, but the ability to add Rodgers is different from going after Trey Lance or Mac Jones. Rodgers would bring the Miami rebuild to a screeching halt and push the team into the thick of the division race against the Bills. He would suddenly have a receiving core with Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, and Mike Gesicki. No complaints there. What he's got going on is he's bringing the Steelers in.
So he's got Tua to Pittsburgh?
Yeah. He's got Packers get 2022 first-round pick from the 49ers in that deal.
All right.
The 2023 first-round pick, the better pick of the Dolphins or the 49ers, whichever one works out better. The 2023 fifth-round pick from the Dolphins and the 2022 first-round pick from the Steelers.
Okay.
Steelers get Tua from the Dolphins, and then Dolphins would get Rodgers and then a 2023 fourth-round pick.
Okay.
Is kind of how he has that laid out. Still a huge haul for the Packers. A lot of picks.
It's a huge haul for the Packers. It makes a ton of sense for the Dolphins. It absolutely makes you relevant today. You would be a Super Bowl contender today.
And it would be the Steelers giving a first-round pick up for Tagovailoa.
Which they would probably do.
It's at least in the basis
because
of the
Pittsburgh never sucks. So Pittsburgh never picks in the top 5 picks.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get a franchise quarterback realistically at 19.
That's true. Yeah. It's always a gamble to find the guy there. Well, not a gamble, just a statistical oddity.
Statistically, you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you do, but you can't bank on it. You can't go in. That's like an NBA team picking 17 going, okay, well, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to get the linchpin to our organization moving forward. Well, you might. I mean, Donovan Mitchell landed to Utah somewhere like that. But realistically, you're not going to get an impact player there.
Number 2, Washington football team.
They seem so far away, but I'm listening.
2022 first-round pick, 2022 second-round pick, 2023 first-round pick, 2023 second-round pick, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and a defensive tackle.
If I'm Washington, I don't do it.
That's a ton.
Well, I don't think I'm close enough to do that. To trade for a 37-year-old quarterback?
This is interesting from Barnwell, who knows tons of football.
Sure, absolutely.
I don't think it's remotely out of the question to suggest that Washington would be among the favorites to make it to the Super Bowl if it pulled off a Rodgers trade. Washington's defense ranked third in the league in defensive DVOA last season and arguably got better in free agency by adding Ronald Darby with William Jackson. If that seems outlandish, remember that the 7-9 Buccaneers finished fifth in that stat in 2019, added Tom Brady and won Super Bowl. Rodgers will be a transformative quarterback for a Washington team that has cycled through starter after starter for 25 years. He wouldn't be a long-term solution, but for an organization that's been downright adversarial to its fans during the Snyder era and wasn't exactly packing the stadium before the pandemic, he would represent a new era. Got a decent punch in Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin. They would have to pay more than the AFC competition to get a deal done. The Packers would get 4 high draft picks, a useful defensive lineman, and a short-term replacement to compete with Love and Fitzpatrick. You're betting that you can win the Super Bowl with him. That's the only reason you even consider.
Well, and for any team, if you win the Super Bowl, whatever the price was, it was worth it.
Yeah. And then what he thinks to be the favorite and the most interesting offer, number 1, the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Packers get Patrick Surtain.
Okay.
Wide receiver Tim Patrick, quarterback Drew Lock, and the 2022 first and the 2023 first.
If you're Green Bay, you do that.
Well, that's
which makes me wonder if the rumors on draft day that a deal was basically done were true.
Rodgers and cornerback Eric Stokes. He says this is the most interesting offer a team can make for Rodgers in his opinion. The Packers only get 2 first-round picks, but they add young, exciting talent at multiple positions who can step in immediately. If LaFleur and company think they can win with Love in 2021, this is the best swap for them to consider. They would essentially get a third first-round pick as part of this deal by adding Surtain, who was the number 9 overall selection on Thursday. In return, they would send their own first round, blah, blah, blah.
And you could turn around and flip Lock to a team that lost its quarterback in week 4 to an injury or something.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's Chili's.
Mm-hmm.
You were hungry. It was food.
From a spectator standpoint, Miami, Cleveland, and Tennessee are the only ones that kind of make me go, oh, yeah, I would watch more of them because of that.
I'd watch the Giants. Makes
Sure.
the Giants relevant. Makes the Raiders relevant.
It does.
He's Aaron Rodgers. When he's on, you kind of watch.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the all-time greats.
Not out of the realm you get 3-4 seasons out of him.
No, I mean, he's
37.
Well, look, we just watched Tom Brady win a Super Bowl at 43, 42. We watched Drew Brees run out of gas but still be a very effective quarterback into his 40s.
Mm-hmm.
It's not out of the realm that Aaron Rodgers is still an effective quarterback at 40, 41.
Yeah. Fascinating. I don't know. Either way, the Packers are getting a ton back. So if you think you at all are kind of close to moving on anyway, you definitely want to do it where you can get that versus letting him do something crazy like retire or do something where you're get some cash, but you get nothing from a pick standpoint. What's your thoughts on DK doing the sprinting thing? Whatever.
I mean, if I looked like DK and ran like DK and someone was going to pay me to run some more, I'd probably do it.
Whatever.
I mean, if I looked like DK and ran like DK, I'd probably just wear as little as possible and run around as much as possible.
Yeah, like I don't see how he actually competes in this, but who cares?
Yeah, he's sort of taunting the rest of us, right? I mean,
yeah.
He'll go finish 5th or whatever among sprinters.
Among sprinters.
And you'll be like, and none of those other dudes can go catch footballs like he does.
They can. He'll be the biggest dude out there.
Oh, like I said, I mean, I want to look like him one day of my life just to see what that's like.
Yeah. You don't blame him for like wearing the no shirt and the short shorts all the time and like,
I mean, I'm not sure I'd even wear clothes.
Yeah,
I mean, I just would
walking around.
Just walk around.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine.
Lord.
Speaking of not wearing much and getting paid for it, I bet John's like, when he's like, oh, where are you going? The Oxford Park Commission is looking to hire lifeguards. If if you are wanting or interested, or if you know someone, a young person who would be interested in being a lifeguard at the Oxford City Pool, if they're 16 or older, apply at oxfordms.net. The pool season starts Saturday, May the 29th. You'll need to be certified to finalize the hiring. Starting pay is $10 an hour with a chance to make up to $12 an hour. Again, oxfordms.net.
So we will be back tomorrow. Chicago getting after the Dodgers 4-0 here in the third. They scored 4 in the first.
The last time, maybe not the last time, but there was a time Kyle Hendricks and Clayton Kershaw
Would have been.
Well, they met in Game 6 of a National League Championship Series.
Yeah.
One of the times that I got yelled at in the press box.
Yeah. So. All right. Appreciate everybody in the stream and listening wherever you are. We'll be back tomorrow with more pearls of wisdom and whatever else it is we will like to talk about. So have a good day. Stay safe. Talk to you then.